What's up, guys? This morning I want to tell you about an interview that was done by Andrew Colvette and Blake Neff on the Charlie Kirk Show, where they interviewed a journalist named Michael Schellenberger. He's the guy who interviewed Joe Kent, who used to be with the NCTC, National Counterterrorism Center. He was the director and he resigned recently. I'm sure you've probably seen it on the news or on X or Facebook. If you haven't, get out from underneath that rock. Before we start, I want to show you Charlie Kirk's studio. This is Charlie Kirk's studio back in the day, and this is Charlie Kirk's studio now. The difference in the two shots, of course, no Charlie Kirk. Now you get these two guys all the time. On the right, Andrew Colvette. On the left, Blake Neff. They've been under quite a bit of fire from Candace Owens and a lot of other people, not because Candace is just out to destroy them, but because they've made it very difficult to get the facts about Charlie Kirk's death and the whereabouts and the what to do with all the things that are going on in that. Simple questions that could have been answered in a timely and easy manner, but instead they have turned it into a battle to pull information out of them every step of the way. So Andrew and Blake, they sit basically in Charlie's stead, and sometimes they come off as being a bit arrogant and haughty, and it's usually when they put words in Charlie's mouth, and Candace, she can speak on her own behalf, but when everything that's going on in the TPUSA world, because that's what Charlie would have wanted, those are the times that they come off as being very arrogant and presumptuous, and Candace calls them out on it, and rightfully so. When they're speaking on behalf of a dead man, it's just not fair to put words in his mouth. Actually, everything that you see them doing is that they're just trying to keep that ship from sinking. They're trying to stop the hemorrhaging, and believe me, they're hemorrhaging, and not necessarily money, because as we saw when Charlie was killed, and plenty of donors, I forget the number Candace has mentioned, it's way up in the multi millions. But the money that came into TPUSA after he was killed, it's real simple math. Charlie Kirk is beginning to stand up against Israel and this Israeli cause, and so we scratch him off the list. Now the money's able to come in. So they don't have to worry necessarily about hemorrhaging money, but they do have to worry about hemorrhaging people and cliques and real growth, because at the end of the day, TPUSA and all its little alliances is a political machine. That's what it is. Anybody who was following the last election closely will tell you that if it wasn't for Charlie Kirk and TPUSA and the young voters that he was able to garner for Trump and get them out to vote and signed up and then get them to go and vote, he was key in getting Donald Trump elected and across the finish line. Now, if for whatever reason you don't think that TPUSA and Erica Kirk and Andrew Colvette and Blake Neff and Mikey McCoy, if you don't think that they're losing support, go to any post on X, any video, anything out there by them or the organization, and click in the comments and just start reading, and you'll see what's going on. You'll see the truth of what's going on. They're hemorrhaging people. When you look at the videos of them going and speaking somewhere, or Frank Turek, it's all centered on Charlie Kirk's death, on Erica and the mess that she's making trying to be CEO or CEO, whatever her position is, top dog at Turning Point. You'll see that they're hemorrhaging people, and they have to have people. Why do they have to have people? You can put money into anything, but unless you can get votes, unless you can turn that money into support for votes, then you lose. So you may ask, why do you need votes? It's a Christian organization. They're just out doing God's will, right? They're just trying to save souls for Jesus. Not exactly. May have been what Charlie Kirk started as, but at some point, like I said, it turned into a political machine. And Charlie, against Candace's advice, chose to sleep in this bed with the Jewish donors. And here's what happened. So the Jewish donors, they put their money into TPUSA. TPUSA goes out into the campuses and convince young people to sign up. Let's register you to vote, and they get you all pumped up about whatever the wall, the whatever it is. They get you out, get you to the polls, and once you get to the polls, you vote for Trump in this case. And Jewish money. Let's do the math. Jewish donors, money to TPUSA. TPUSA goes out, gets the voters. Voters vote for Republican causes. That adds up to Israel has influence on our elections. Huh, interesting. That's how it works. That's what it was all about. These guys that you see here, Andrew and Blake and Mikey McCoy and everybody around them, don't let them fool you with their, I'm just like you. We're just good old boys. No, sir. These guys are rich boys. So was Charlie. These are rich folks. These are rich. Don't think for a minute that they're going to get up and be doing a job down here at the factory for $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a year. No, sir. They get fine salaries, and they know that they're hemorrhaging people. And if they hemorrhage people, eventually they're not going to get money. So what you see right here is a company on life support. They've got plenty of money to hold out for however long, but the problem is they have to have the voters. They have to be. That's the whole machine. It's not let's get everybody to love Jesus and sing Kumbaya. No, that's not it at all. This is about votes. This is about money. This is a political machine. For most Americans that watched Charlie Kirk's assassination on that day, openly, publicly, it couldn't have been any more graphic, dramatic. Everything about it was the worst of everything. The only thing that you could say that was good, I guess, not good, but the only thing that you could say wasn't as bad as it could have been is the fact that the 30-06 that they say that he was shot with didn't take his entire head off, which is a point of contention. The problem is that these two guys in the circle that they're in have fought every step of the way. They say, oh, we're being forthcoming. We just want to know the truth. But if you watch any of their interviews, including the one with Michael Schellenberger, there's this arrogance, especially with Blake, of how he talks. They know in their mind Tyler Robinson killed Charlie Kirk. There's no getting around it. You watch any of their interviews and you'll see this smuck kind of just, like everybody's an idiot. And yet there's so many of us out here that look at the whole Charlie Kirk phenomena of how he was killed, murdered, assassinated, and we have questions, but they don't have questions. No, we're good. Tyler Robinson, furry boyfriend. Yeah, that's who did it. And of course, if you want to just cast doubt on it, so yeah, Tyler Robinson, he may have been at that college that day. That may be his video of him. All those things can be true. We can't tell if that's him that's on the roof, but we know if what we've been told is true, that it was his grandfather's rifle that was found, and of course his DNA is on it. Let's say you got in a Discord chat and there were some FBI agents on the other end of that Discord chat and they're working to entrap him. They wouldn't do anything like that, would they? Michigan, Governor Whitmer. Oh, yeah, they do shit like that. Let's say that he got in a Discord chat and he was lured into bringing a rifle to the college and he had a drop-off point that he had to leave the rifle. And then somebody else is going to pick up the rifle and go do the deed. Well, still, his DNA is going to be on it. And if you want to expand on it, because you need everything to work out perfectly, let's say Tyler gets to the university and he parks his car. He walks exactly where we've got him walking. We see him walking. He goes down underneath the building. Now he's underneath the building. He's got a cell phone in his pocket, which we know because we see a picture if that's Tyler Robinson. But now, because of locations, we can actually put Tyler Robinson in the building that he's fixing to be on top of, taking a shot. The problem is, if the person he's dropping the rifle off to is already in the building, he drops the rifle off, he leaves some other direction. Now this other guy picks up the rifle, goes up on the roof, takes the shot. if there really was a shot taken, runs back across the roof, jumps off, and he's gone. So now you've got Tyler Robinson at the scene, the exact spot with the cell phone, which will probably be evidence in the trial. The problem with all of this is that the video of the guy on the roof, you can't make that out to be Tyler Robinson. You can put his DNA on the rifle, but you can't connect the guy on the roof with Tyler Robinson. There's no way to do it. He was missing for 33 hours, Cash Patel, Mason. So, I mean, it's so easy to cast doubt on any part of their story. And yet, these guys, Schmuck and Smucker, they sit there and act like it's open, closed case. So it means a lot to me when somebody like Joe Kent steps out and says, I'm all involved in this, and it's not just you guys. It's not just you guys that are questioning it. I'm at the top. I'm at the very top, and they're casting doubt in my mind about this story. Anyway, my point to all of this is these guys, they say that they're fair and balanced. They believe that, yeah, we've weighed all the evidence, and from what we've been told, and we believe that Tyler Robinson was a lone wolf shooter that killed Charlie Kirk on September the 10th. That's our story. That's what we believe. We've seen it. We believe that evidence. But the problem with that is that they have cognitive dissonance, and they don't even realize it. And it's so apparent in this clip that I'm going to play you, whether the clip is worthy of anything else as far as evidence that might come out in the future. That doesn't matter. What my point is to show that these two fellas who sit up there and speaking down their noses like that they've got this case all figured out, the shock that they experience when they realize that there may be something more to this. All right, so here's the video I've been building up to. Enjoy.
Did he present a single example of evidence against Tyler Robinson that he believes may have been flawed or mistaken on one end? And on the other end, did he give you a single concrete example of evidence in the case that he believes that specifically that went uninvestigated by the FBI or by any other law enforcement?
I'm afraid I can't answer all of these questions because I have to protect, but I will say that he presented nothing on the record and hasn't presented anything on the record.
Okay. So I want to, I would love to follow up on that, but I have a feeling that we're going to, there's nothing you can say.
Yeah.
Boom. let me rewind. I want to get that. The last part
hasn't presented.
Did he give you a single concrete example of evidence in the case that he believes that specifically that went uninvestigated by the FBI or by any other law enforcement?
I'm afraid I can't answer all of these questions because I have to protect, but I will say that he presented nothing on the record and hasn't presented anything on the record.
Okay. So I want to, I would love to follow up on that, but I have a feeling.
Bam. They didn't expect that at all. They didn't expect it. You can tell by the shock on their faces, the lack of words, the amount of time it took them to regain their composure. And the scene was actually on Michael Schellenberger whenever he finishes a sentence. You don't even get to see the original first expressions that Blake and Andrew had. And then when it does shift the camera over to them, it takes them a moment even then to regain their composure. The question was, did you hear of any evidence, something that was uninvestigated? Did Joe share something like that with you? And when Michael's given the opportunity to give his account of what happened, he basically says attorney-client privilege or confidentiality, something to that effect, that he couldn't share that. And it just shocked them to the core. Cognitive dissonance, that's what they have. They could never see this as anything except for Tyler Robinson was the murderer of Charlie Kirk. That's all they can see. They can only see this as Tyler Robinson is guilty. He killed Charlie Kirk. We've seen the evidence. There's no other way around it. And to me, coming from a supposed Christian organization. It doesn't seem like real fair. I think they did that to a guy named Jesus one time. Y'all have a good one. Thanks.